Welcome back to Shankar IAS Academy Delhi branch. Let's have another interaction with our expert today. Our expert today is Dr. Syed Mahmood Akhter sir, who is a renowned distinguished officer of Indian Revenue Service. He has served 35 years within the Government of India. He's won the gold medalist in English literature. Also, he's lectured at the Columbus University. Let's hear more from our sir today. Let's welcome our sir. Welcome to Shankar IAS Academy, sir.
Thank you, Madam Sindhu. Thank you. I am quite happy and thankful to Shankar Academy for having given me this opportunity to come and talk to you.
Yes, sir. Shall we go towards our questions?
Please.
Sir, you graduated as a gold medalist in English literature and you began your career. So, at the Columbus College as well. Transition from Indian Revenue Service, how did your deep training and humanities shape your this journey?
Well, doing a MA post-graduation in English literature gives you an opportunity to look at life from various sensibilities. You come across eminent writers of the subject. You come across eminent historical perspectives which these writers have embodied. You can call it Elizabethan age, Georgian age, modern age, poetry, drama, fiction, linguistics, you name it. Now, when you go into the subject and try to study, you get a lot of characters who give you a vision of life. I will just give you a small example. When I was studying in my BA Honours, there was this eminent writer from Britain called Graham Greene. He never got the Nobel, but he was a very popular writer. And one of the, accordingly, I thought he's one of the greatest writers of English fiction. So one of his lines I have often tried to analyze and to understand why he wrote like this. The line is, and it is not aimed at any particular religion, believe me. The line is, the church knows all the rules. What the church doesn't know is what goes on in a single human heart.
Yes.
That is what literature is. Literature gives you a glimpse, a vision of the religions of life, of the society at large, of the various ages which have gone by in history, and geographical, platitudes. But the literature at times also points out what was missing. The human factor was missing, according to Graham Greene. And that has affected me, affected my sensibilities. So all my career, as a lecturer, as a student, as a lecturer, as an Indian Revenue Service officer, I have tried to bring that human factor. I don't think I have been even 50% successful, but I have tried. And at least that attempt of mine has given me immense satisfaction. That is how literature, affects you and takes you down the journey which you are going to. At the moment, when I did my MA in English literature, I never knew that I will be an Indian Revenue Service officer. I never knew that I will be a gold medalist. I never knew that I will be going to teach English literature to postgraduates and graduates at the age of 23. So, life unfolded before me. But the ingredients of literary, you can say, sensibilities, which I had been gifted by, not exactly gifted I should say, which I had been granted by God through these educator mentors, have affected my journey. And to put it in a very light manner, when you switch over from academia to bureaucracy, from bureaucracy to diplomacy, and from diplomacy to public service or whatever you call it, at large, or media, social media, I am reminded of T.S. Eliot's line. There will be time to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. So that is how you do. As time goes by, the faces differ. And the soul remains the same, but the faces differ. And I have to make a face matching those faces. That's what I.
Well said, sir. Moving from an academic environment to this high pressure administration, what were the steepest learning curves when managing your early postings across major hubs like Kolkata, Pune, Delhi, and so on?
Oh, very interesting questions because yes, I started my career as a lecturer of English literature at Hazaribagh, a small hamlet in Jharkhand, known for its green forests and valleys and those things. And then I go to Calcutta and get my first posting in customs. I go to the ships on the high seas. I go to the custom house. I go to the bureaucratic hustle and bustle. And then at times I feel this is not my world initially. I belong to a different world of books and journals and talks and lectures and whatever. But here I am writing like a boy who is just writing and writing and writing. But then I remembered my MA classes and my MA lectures and the professors who have taught me. They had taught me how to write, what to write. And those notes came in handy. So in Calcutta, basically I started my journey as an assessing officer of customs. The language was different. The food was very...
Calcutta was your first post?
Yes. From Calcutta, I went to Haldia Docks, again in West Bengal. I saw the ships, the big ships on the ocean for the first time in my life. I boarded those ships and carried on my customs work of assessing goods to duty. So that is how Calcutta did. Next, I came to Delhi from Calcutta. Delhi was different. I was a bit familiar with Delhi because of my earlier visits to the city, of my UPSC interview in Delhi. So those kind of things are definitely, they were there in my sight. And Delhi had a different culture. Delhi was more into, what should I say, fast moving trade. Calcutta was a bit slow, still is. Life goes easy in those areas in Calcutta. In Delhi, life is fast, moving at a breakneck speed at times. So we had to learn it fast and quick. And I enjoyed working in Delhi. And I had a very long stint in Delhi. I think one of the longest ever in the department by a single officer. And I learned many things. I learned assessment.
More about how many, what was the tenure of your serving in Delhi, sir?
It lasted almost, I will say, 20 years of an
so
Yes,
long.
it was very long. In various capacities, as an appraising officer, then as an assistant and deputy commissioner of customs, then joined an additional commissioner of customs. Of course, I was transferred from Delhi to Pune also, Pune customs, and then I went to Amritsar customs. That was a very different Pune. Pune was a marine customs. Pune, you go out into the high seas in the dead of night. You don't feel afraid. You feel simply that you are in the throes of black nature. And how you go as a beacon of light. And you patrol those high seas along with other fellow officers. And you come back satisfied that at least the coast is clear. There are no, terrorists, there are no smugglers. And there is nothing like that which we can call it as intruding into our country. So that was a wonderful experience in Pune. And it had a long marine lines. I used to travel to Mumbai, and then I used to work extensively in Pune. I toured Ahmednagar. I saw Mahabaleshwar, which was again our own domain. We had a huge old Bangalore there, customs. So that was interesting. Amritsar was absolutely different. Amritsar was India-Pakistan, as you know, and that too on the land front. So I had to work on 2-3 fronts in Amritsar. The first front was trade facilitation, because in those days the trade was on. From Pakistan, cement used to come, garments used to come, pan patta used to come, and from here bicycles used to go, two-wheelers, electric two-wheelers used to go, and many other items used to go. So the trade had to be maintained. But that was something lacking on the surface. You come down below, and then you had counterfeit currency, fake Indian currency notes. I seized 40 lakhs worth of in my period, face value. That was a challenge. Then there were narcotics, the best quality narcotics coming from Afghanistan, heroin, concealed, very surreptitiously concealed in train bogies and trucks, and meant to be translated to Canada and USA. We seized that. We seized arms and ammunition. So Amritsar was a real challenge. I think if I can call it so, Amritsar was the real embodiment of customs.
You must have faced various pressures if that's the case.
The pressures were more in Delhi, if you ask me,
rather than
in Amritsar.
But relatively, your cases were more in Amritsar, as you said.
Yes, but nobody interfered. Nobody interfered. Perhaps the reason is Amritsar is dealing at a distance from Delhi. So the political pressures take time to reach that, if at all. In Delhi, it is immediate.
Okay.
One phone call away and you get a phone call, do this and do that. Now it depends on the officer whether he is going to obey it or take it in his own manner. So that's what I did.
Looking back over 35 years of your service towards India, the administrative culture and structural priorities of the revenue service evolved, especially in balancing revenue collection with trade facilitation.
Yes, I told you about Delhi Customs. Delhi Customs is basically import or export oriented. I never worked in exports, I worked only in import customs. I had big companies importing into Delhi like Maruti, HCL, Wipro, Indraprasth Gas, to name a few. And those imports were massive. They used to give me huge revenue. But at the same time, I had to, along with trade facilitation, I had to ensure that nothing sinister in the way of under-invoicing or smuggling is cleared through our groups. We tried our best and we succeeded, because in Delhi the scenario is very, very focused. One small error and the whole country comes to know of it. It is something like that.
Is it always that happens in Delhi?
Yes, more or less. Now I think it's a bit, I should say, a bit diluted, because now they have introduced faceless assessments. As document is filed in Delhi and assessed somewhere in Chennai or Bangalore or Calcutta, nobody knows. So that pressure is a bit off.
But is it helpful, sir?
Yeah, it is. It is. But at the same time, it takes time. Many a time the glitches in the computer system have to be managed effectively. In fact, if I can tell you, and if you will recall, the present finance minister, when she was talking about the post-budget corrections, one of the main things was making customs user-friendly and making it faster. So that is the need of the hour. It has to be done. We have come a long way, I must say, but still much needs to be done.
As a former Commissioner of Customs, you managed sensitive anti-smuggling operations and cross-border trade enforcement. What are the invisible vulnerabilities in India's maritime and terrestrial borders that public rarely understands?
Well, it is, as I told you, the public will know only that there is a customs formation in Amritsar or in Pune or in Delhi or Calcutta, anywhere. The public will not be able to know at the various levels at which customs has to operate. Trade facilitation is only one aspect. The other aspect is very strong enforcement. One has to ensure with a smiling face that nothing anti-national comes to the country, no contraband comes to the country. It can be gold, it can be silver in a very big manner, illegally imported or exported for that matter. No narcotics comes into the country, Psychotropic Act, because it's a big challenge. Explosives do not come into the country, or even narco-terrorism, which is a very, very strong possibility that it is funded by money laundering and other kinds of things, especially on the land borders of the country, or in important ports of the country, or at airports. You know, customs, the work is not only governed by the Customs Act. There are a host of other acts which, you know, are taken into the very vortex of customs, like Arms Act, Arts and Antiquities Act, Psychotropic Substances Act, Chemicals Act, Wildlife Act. Now, who is going to enforce these acts? Only customs. So, customs is
the awareness of
the bad boy has to be whipped. You did this, you did, but then people must know that customs is the final frontier, the last guardian. If the goods pass through customs, it will be difficult to trace them out in the country. So we try to do our best, and I must say I am a proud customs officer that our department has lived up to it. The challenges are immense. The challenges are more than, it is multi-dimensional challenge. You just close one eye and something sinister may pass through. So one has to be very, very
alert.
Very alert. That's it.
Okay, sir. Sir, you received specialized training from US Homeland Security in the UAE. how did that exposure change your perspective on international supply chain security, counter illicit trade networks, and modern risk profit?
Yes, that training came very handy to me because I was handpicked as one of the two customs officers from India, and to be trained outside India by the Department of Homeland Security.
This is in the year, sir?
This happened in 2012 for about 2 weeks.
You were posted
I was posted in Amritsar and Delhi.
during that.
Yes, and they had somehow they had sensed my work. They had their own ways of knowing it.
Right.
So the American embassy had sensed their work. They approached my department, and my name was cleared for being trained there. There were other countries also, like Saudi Arabia had come, UAE was there. This took place in UAE only, Dubai.
UAE, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And then Nepal was represented, Bangladesh was represented, Sri Lanka was represented. So we were about 50 people out of the whole group. Two of them were Indians. Now this training was very, very specialized. This gave us an idea how to check the money laundering segments and the supply chain mechanisms. I will give you an example. They trained us to know when a person arrives at the airport, what do we have to look into his credentials. First thing is, which country has he come from? How many times has he visited India? Which airport has he frequented mostly? How has he bought the tickets? By cash, by travel agent, or by a credit card? Where is he going to stay? How long will his duration be? And then finally, when he arrives at the airport, his eye movements are watched. It's a very technical thing and a very interesting thing.
The anxiety on the eye
Yes,
is illicit.
yes. If he looks right and left and looks puzzled,
Yeah.
he may be a man. And if he comes out confidently and goes out, then also you have to check out whether he is a seasoned guy who has done it many a time. So there the notings on the entries on the passport will
If
help.
there is a very challenged personality holding the same scenario as what you said, what's the way you check on them?
We check his whereabouts. Where is he coming from? How many times has he come? We take, it's called profiling. We profile the passenger. We can't profile 300 passengers coming down from America. We can't do that. So we select it. Before he arrives, we go on the network, see how many times has he come, where is he coming
That's
from.
recognized even before they could
Yes.
land.
So we are ready before he arrives. And we are also ready before he leaves. So whatever he has done, it will be in our tab. That's how. And that is what the Americans told us to do. But then, I told the Americans, there are certain things where I believe the Indian customs have an edge over the US customs. One was it that a search warrant is issued in USA. A search warrant to search a premises or a residential or official premises is issued by no less than a judge, a federal judge. So that may take 14 days or 10 days to convince the judge. By that time the birds will fly. In our country, it takes within a day. Once the intelligence is received, at least I did it when I was there, and people go. So there is an authorization by the head of the section, you go and search this premises. I will tell you a very, very interesting incident which happened with us in Delhi. We were, in 7:30 in the morning, we were going to search a premises. We had a specific intelligence on it. In the hurry of things, we went with a team, we forgot two things. To carry a search warrant and to carry a lady officer in the hurry of things. So when we arrived, this was in a very posh locality of Delhi, Basant Vihar. So there was a lawyer waiting for us on behalf of the guy whose premises we were going to search. And the lawyer somehow felt that maybe he had come. I don't know how he sensed it or he was informed by somebody. I'm not too sure, but he was ready. And then he said, please show us the search warrant. And then we realized we are not clearing. He said, I will not let you enter until unless you have a search warrant. So the officer concerned who was with me told me, sir, you are the Deputy Commissioner of Customs. To tell him that you are the DC. And then I realized what he was trying to tell me. I said, I am the walking search warrant. I don't require a warrant. I am the walking search warrant. because I have come personally. So whatever I have to write, I will write. Yes. And then by that time we had got 2 lady officers who had joined the search, and the search was completed. So these were some interesting incidents.
Yeah, true, sir. So you received, with the rise of sophisticated digital financial crimes, trade-based money laundering and dark web smuggling networks, how must India's customs and revenue intelligence architectures evolve to stay ahead of bad actors?
Actually, in my time, I started my career in 1984 in Indian Customs, retired in 2016. We saw the flow of things in the department. Initially, it was all manual. Everything was done on documents, and it took a lot of time and things. Gradually, we became electronic. EDI, electronic data interchange. We were the first ones to introduce this in the country, in Delhi.
In the year, sir?
1995.
Okay.
EDI, electronic data, and everything went on. Now it has been, taken much smarter and bolder. But in those days, it was a difficult time. So entire thing came on the.
It was relatively new that time.
Absolutely, and we were the pioneers.
Okay.
We got it, then Bombay followed, then Madras followed, then Chennai followed, then things like that. So that was one thing. Once we introduced that EDI, we realized that there are certain, you have to segregate the wheat from the chaff, as you say. Every person who comes to India is not a smuggler, and every goods which come to India is not a contraband goods. So you have to profile. As you profile the passengers and persons entering India, you have to profile the goods also. So if there are multinationals importing, whose reputation is, above board, we used to give them green channel. Green channel is no examination, the goods come and the goods go, only inspection. But random checking was there. It was not 100% green.
Even during.
Yes, suppose 10 consignments have come, 1 of them will be opened, 9 will be cleared.
Is it a mandatory?
It is not exactly mandatory, it is a sort of prerogative of the customs officer. I do not know the situation now, maybe it still is, or maybe the computer does it. Even better, artificial intelligence is there, so maybe they will do it. Select this package and let go this package. We have to follow. Third thing which came was risk management. Risk is there. Risk management is a very sensitive department of the Indian Customs. You have to manage it. How do you manage it? 3 things. The goods are imported from which place? Where are they heading to? The person who is importing or the company which is importing, is it a trading house or a manufacturing house? And finally, what will be the end product? Will you sell it in the market or will you use it for manufacturing something? So if all these things match in a consummate manner, the goods have to be given immediate clearance, and we have been doing it. So green channel, risk management, electronic data interchange, now finally artificial intelligence, and what do we call it, information technology, they have taken over. Now, when you talk about artificial intelligence, it can work both ways. It can also help you.
Help you, yeah. My next question was that.
It can also help you, and it can also decapitate you, so to say, because whatever you are seeing on the artificial intelligence may be fabricated, the whole thing.
Yes, that is.
So how to distinguish is a challenge. But I am sure our young custom officers, they are doing a wonderful job, and they are very well trained. They come with a proper perspective and a background. So I am sure that they will do it. In fact, I will advise the young guys who are taking the exam that they can always be willing and ready to employ their management techniques once they are selected for important assignment jobs like Indian Administrative Service or Indian Revenue Service, even Indian Foreign Service. They must carry their skills along. Their skills will be very handy once they join the department. And in our days, the skills were writing, speaking, and maybe delivering things in a conference. Now the skills have changed. It is more like sitting on the computers and knowing what is going on. Sitting on artificial intelligence signboard and knowing whom you are talking to or what is going on. So there I will say that the aspirants, Shankar Academy aspirants, or who are trying to take the exam, must be professionally equipped. And not only equipped, they have to be trained and honed in the days to come, because the challenges will be too much. the more safe we try to feel that customs has begun, the more smarter the smugglers become. They always try to move one step ahead of us. So in order to be matching this thing, we have to be equally smart.
There are a couple of services in our UPSC, as we know, unlike only IAS, IPS and IRS. As we know, there are a couple of other services also require service. I hope that when you were preparing, when you were for your examinations, you would have opted for the first two services.
Yes.
When you got your revenue service, were you slightly disturbed on the service?
I will admit, yes, I was.
Because this is a question from my side.
No, it's a very
and
good
also
question.
I would like to, our viewers also would like to know, because there are so many aspirants out there. They are all willing to grab the first two positions more rather than the third and the fourth one. And they have a slight, we aimed for something else and we have ended up something else. So what should be their vision, even if they get the services that they have not opted for? I want to hear.
Yes, that's a very interesting question.
Right.
I went through I think a year or two of depression when I got this customs revenue thing. I joined as an assessing officer, appraising officer, and then finally got into the real mainstream after 5-6 years. And I always used to think, I wanted to be an IAS officer and to be a DM wherever I landed. I wanted to be an IFS officer and be posted abroad wherever I landed. But I did not, and I believe that always destiny has a plan for you, a pattern for you. No matter where you want to land up, destiny takes you on its own. So I think Napoleon wrote in his memoirs or something that he was asked, what is the final word in this world? And he wrote destiny. Napoleon wrote destiny, only destiny. So now when I look back, I think I had one of the best services in the country. Had I been an IAS officer, let me talk very frankly, I would have been confined to a state, particular state, and then I may have been involved with policy planning, management, brought to Delhi for a particular period and then sent back and retired from there. Here I get an opportunity to traverse the whole country, not only the whole country, abroad. I go and work as economic counselor, trade counselor in Nepal as a diplomat, facilitator. And so I think destiny brought me everything which I wanted.
So our aspirants also should know equally every single section of this deserves its own challenges.
Yes.
And there is a lot more to do, unlike the other two services.
I will advise the aspirants to keep in mind, you prepare your best, aim for 3 or 4 services, and whichever service comes to you, this is a A-grade service. You are an Indian government or an Indian diplomat. So you are a cut above the rest.
You were also not prepared that you will be receiving a service this way.
No,
Maybe
I was not.
into you.
I was not even knowing fully what is Indian Revenue Service. But I grew up in Indian Revenue Service, and as times passed, today I think I had the best of all the worlds. As a trade counselor outside India, as a commissioner on the borders of India, Pakistan. So I think destiny gave me everything which I wanted. And a director in the Ministry of Minority Affairs on deputation.
Certainly.
As Under Secretary Land Customs, I have seen practically all the neighboring countries officially. I have made visits along with other departments to all the major countries officially. Met the Indian ambassador, met the governments of the other countries, had discussions with them. So I think I was more than compensated. I will tell the same thing to the aspirants. Take it as a challenge and accept what destiny gives you, and then take it forward.
Thank you, sir. You led critical ground level relief operation immediately after devastating 2015 Nepal earthquake. Can you take us behind the scenes of this operation? How do you effectively coordinate massive humanitarian aid under collapsed infrastructure and intense geopolitics?
Yes, that is one of the most satisfying period of my career. The earthquake took place if I remember correctly, sometime in April, May 2015. So at that time, I had come to Delhi. I was not there when the earthquake took place, and I was taking a flight back home, back to Nepal. On the flight, I got a message from the ambassador and the consul general that I have to immediately rush to the border area, land borders. So when I reached there, I cancelled all my other engagements. From Lucknow, I drove and reached the land borders of Nepal. I was told to man 2 land borders. One was Raxaul, the other was Bhairwal. So both were relief operations had been started. Every day we used to get 500 trucks. And those 500 trucks, because Nepal has a very peculiar thing, I will tell you. Nepal is basically, if I can tell you, Sindhu, Nepal is basically a landlocked country, like Afghanistan.
Okay.
It doesn't have access to the sea. India provides the taxes. So, and then China, there is a lot of talk about China. China is nowhere near Nepal. In India, you cross 2 kilometers and you are in Nepal. China, you have to, I think, 2,000 kilometers and then you enter Nepal through the mountains, glacial mountains. So, India has a basic responsibility and we did it. We opened the frontier, so to say, the land borders, allowed all this thing. I was personally supervising both the customs areas. And in Nepal, I was sitting with the Chief Development Officer. The district magistrate or the deputy commissioner in Nepal is called the CDO, Chief District Officer. And we, in 2-3 months' time, sat together, sent the relief materials to wherever it was required. That was a very fulfilling thing in my career. We ensured that people who didn't have a roof above their heads got tents. People who didn't have food, they got best quality rice and vegetables and dal and everything. Medicines, clothes. So, yes, it was one of its own kind experience, which I don't think I would have ever got in India, but in Nepal I got it.
It had come to you naturally.
Yes, and I feel
natural disaster, where it has.
It was a disaster, and once I was there, I have seen the ground shake. Badly.
During your
yes, yes, it lasted for about a fortnight. Slow tremors. So
you were able to witness.
Yes, and we somehow managed to get the relief operations underway and to get it through. That's all.